Hi guys, I'm Alexandra. These are my teammates.
I'm Nick.
I'm Bruce. I'm Richard.
And today we're going to talk to you about the campus garden. The campus garden is located behind the Jordan Road office building in this red square right here, down the road this way from Junker Center. And it was started out by Mrs. Quinn and Dr. McMahon recently in June 2016.
I'm going to explain how to begin planning for your community garden. The first thing that one should do is involve the community, because without the community, it's just a garden. Hold meetings with the public so that everyone can be involved with the garden. You'll want to find sponsors to handle financing, and check with your community or campus about liability insurance just in case someone would get hurt. Next, determine a location for your garden. Will the garden be on public or private land? Keep in mind neighbors when selecting an area. You won't want to bother them with any odors of fertilizer or compost or even insects or vermin. Select a location with a nearby water source and in full sunlight. An ideal location would also have storage for tools. Our garden is in the middle of an open field and has full sunlight. It also has a storage shed. Decide if you'll use a raised bed. Raised beds will need to be constructed with wood and screws, as you can see here. This is a picture of our raised beds that were constructed by the maintenance department here. You can see how the plants are raised up off of the ground instead of being planted directly into the soil. Now that a plan has been made, you can raise awareness in your community, generate interest during the growing season, and hold registration and orientation for future growers. Plan to have year-round activities to engage everyone throughout the entire year. During the winter, you can hold a gathering to look at seed catalogs and decide what to plant. In the spring, exchange seeds with the community. During the summer, you can hold events at the garden, for example, a music event with gardening experts. During the fall, hold a dinner at the garden with fresh produce from the garden. Planning these types of events are important before starting your community garden to involve the entire community. Remember to educate any new gardeners. Safety should always be the #1 priority. Winter is an excellent time to plan and educate volunteers about gardening procedures. During the spring, plan to hold an educational meeting on the garden to show how to compost, what to plant, what's best to plant, what bugs are helpful, and when to harvest.
I'm gonna talking about how the campus garden benefits education. First, the campus garden can be used to develop the public education and provide the outreach and research programs for students. It also offers experiential learning opportunities. For example, the students of biology or the environmental science major were allowed to take care of the campus garden to gain some experiments from the campus garden. I'm now talking about the environmental benefits, and the most important things for every plant is a clean air. The plants act as highly effective air cleaners. They absorb carbon dioxide and many air pollutants and yield produce. And the next thing is sustainability. The plants or crops that Ann harvested can be used for composting. And the last thing is the pollination. Flowers surrounding the garden contribute to pollination.
Okay, so now we can talk about the future plans we have for the garden. In the future, we want to donate produce, share produce with students, and share the garden with the community. Donating produce like fruits and vegetables can help us decrease food insecurity in our area. We also want to grow our plants more efficiently. So for example, we can grow our seeds or seedlings initially in an incubator and then transfer them to our raised beds. We can also use a fence to prevent wildlife from eating our produce. And we can assess the soil to make sure it is at the right pH. Okay, so now we want to talk about the outreach and volunteering in the garden. First, we want to talk about some outreach activities that we've already done recently. We winterized the garden with a troop of daisies, and these are some pictures of that day. But in the future, we want to include more students and clubs from inside campus for them to help us with garden activities and participate in them.
Last garden incident, there were not so many students there to help the garden. There were only a few of them help take out the plants that were either overwatered or underfed. But I believe that more and more people will be interested in helping our community garden after they watch this slide and learned that how great our garden is. So Anyone who is interested in helping can send emails to the email address of Mrs. Ann Quinn.
abq1@psc.edu. Participate in the garden. These are our sources cited. Thank you for watching.